Yo, what's going on guys? It's G-Miners here. I was working on a video going over which Warmind Cell mods would still be good for Witch Queen when I discovered a pretty broken Warmind Cell build for Solar Titans in the process. So for this video, I am just going over both. The first half of the video will be going over the Warmind Cell mods that are still good, and the second half will be the Titan build. Starting off, Global Reach is still going to be one of the best Warmind Cell mods and honestly the strongest. Just putting this on and running something like the Ichlos SMG made them super easy to play with. Even with the massive damage and range nerf, detonating these Warmind cells are still amazing for high volume ad clear against rank and file enemies. The range and damage were both cut in half a while back. Global Reach though brings the range back up to a decent size, so they're still going to be great, just no longer the most OP thing in the game. For explosive solar builds, which is the one I will be going over towards the end of this video, Wrath of Rasputin is amazing. This will allow you to spawn Warmind cells on any explosive kill. With solar builds revolving heavily around explosive damage, Wrath of Rasputin fits in great. This mod is pretty much going to take the most OP ad clear builds in the game, which are Bottom Tree Dawnblade and Hammers, and take them to the next level. More on this later. The last mod I wanted to mention that I still think is crazy strong is Fireteam Medic. This gives a massive chunk of health back to everyone nearby when you destroy a Warmind cell. And when I say massive, I mean almost all of your health. This is going to be insane when paired with other healing and resistance mods to just scale up your character's survivability, and it has the added bonus of healing nearby teammates. As far as the other Warmind cell mods go, I would say most of them are going to be overshined by elemental well mods. Cellular suppression will be a lot less useful with Void 3.0, and in general is much weaker than blinding nades. Power of Rasputin is nice, but most of the elemental well mod builds utilize Font of Might, which is way better as long as your energies are matching. And on top of this, Font of Might is going to be a much larger buff at 25% compared to the 10% from Power of Rasputin. With the same logic, Warmind's protection is going to also be useless, and once again, overshined by something like a Stag Rift, Warlocks who are well chaining, or any other form of resistance in the game. Before I cover the build, if you found this video useful, don't forget to like and sub. Subbing is completely free, it helps me out a ton, and you can always change your mind later. Okay, so with the current shift in the meta and the way Bungie has handled mods in the past, it seems like they are really pushing for elemental well builds. Amongst the best of these builds, as I mentioned, are solar elemental well builds, as synergizing your armor with your subclass and weapon affinity allows you to use some of the best mods in the game. These mods being Explosive Wellmaker, Well of Life, and Font of Might. Pairing a solar elemental well build with Wrath of Rasputin will now allow every solar explosion kill to have a chance to spawn a Warmind cell. This is going to drastically increase your ad clear against rank and file enemies, even without running Global Reach. Pairing this with something like Fireteam Medic will also allow you to play much more aggressive. Each time you detonate a Warmind cell, you will now be brought back to max health as long as you are not super close to dying. With the exotic primary buff coming, Sunshot is going to pair with this build really nicely. The solar explosion damage will deal 40% more, which increases the chance of chain explosions when under power, and these explosions will have a chance to generate both elemental wells and now Warmind cells. After collecting an elemental well, this will increase your damage with Sunshot by an additional 25%, so this is going to start mopping ads. The gameplay you see now is just of a regular lost sector, and you can see the difference that Font of Might makes on things like yellow bars. Once again, after we get the extra 40% damage buff in Witch Queen, this is going to make this build even crazier in endgame content. With Font of Might, you can also pair this build with a solar heavy, like the Ascendancy or any other option to capitalize on the bonus damage from Font of Might. These heavy weapons can then be used on Majors, Ultras, and Champions to make this build even much more versatile. I personally think this build is insane, and it will definitely be something that I bring into the Legend version of the campaign to test out. The only thing that is missing, in my opinion, is Protective Light and a way to get charged. I have used Warmind cells recently in raids when underpowered by 20 to 30 levels, so these are still going to be great and one-shot every rank and file in close proximity. If you end up needing better ad clear and you don't want to change your entire build around, running Ichlos SMG and just Global Reach is going to be your best option. That is all for this video, guys. Let me know if you are using Warmind cells in some of your builds for Witch Queen and the new raid. Hope this video helps. Peace.